Okay, I think that before looking at an author's audience, you kind of need to find a little bit more about who the author actually is as a person. So the person I'll be talking about today is Tucker Max, and Tucker Max was born in 1975. So I still think that he's considered a younger author, and I think that that also has a lot to do with who his audience is. Max graduated with a degree in economics, and he graduated in 3 years with honors from the University of Chicago. After attending the University of Chicago, he was put on an academic scholarship and attended Duke Law School, where he graduated at Duke. And I think that that's I think that that is important to know, because knowing a little bit about who the author, you kind of think about them while you're reading, and it helps you to better understand who's talking and who you're looking at. So I think that after I found out who he was, I wanted to do a little more research on how he wrote and his specific genres. So I already knew that it was nonfiction and comedy, is just the way that Tucker Max writes. But a new type of genre that I found out about is fratire. And I guess this is a 21st century type genre that supposedly was started and created by Tucker Max, which I think that that also is important to know, because I think that's pretty important, or pretty impressive that he started his own type of genre. And to better explain fratire, it's more of masculine themed books. Males are typically who read fratire between the ages of 18 and 35, and it's just, it fits Tucker Max, because what he does is talk about his drunken escapades and just random sexual encounters with women in his books. And that leads to his first book that he wrote, which was I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. In his first book, I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell was released in 2006, and from 2006 until 2011, it made the New York Times bestsellers list. And I think that this is important to know, because being able to find out how he writes and who he writes, you'll be able to better understand his audience. And in this book, it's all written in first person. It's all written throughout what happened to him in different situations that he was a part of. And there's a lot of vulgarity and a lot of degrading women. And I thought that this was unique, and I also thought that I think this is important to know, because this will better to help understand who the audience is. So I decided to take a poll at Mount Union. I asked 10 women and 10 guys about Tucker Max. It was very simple. I just said, are you familiar with Tucker Max, and what do you think of him? Out of the 10 guys I asked, 8 of the 10 guys were familiar with Tucker Max. And all 8 of them said that they were interested in reading more if they haven't read his other books yet, and they said that they really liked him. Out of the 10 girls that I asked, only 2 of them were familiar with Tucker Max, and of the 2 that were familiar were just, they thought that he was totally ridiculous, and they did not like his writings, and I thought that that was funny, but I also thought that that helped, because Tucker Max releasing this book he was 31 years old in 2006, so I think that that helps to show who he's kind of aiming to, the younger generation. I thought that by asking college students, that would probably be the direction to go, because fratire, the genre that I recently found out about, I mean, the college age student is the perfect age, in that age range. These are some quotes that I took out of his first book, I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, because I thought that these were important just to kind of grasp who he is as a person and how he relates to his audience. Things always work out for me because I do whatever I want without worrying about the consequences. That just shows he's just trying to be cocky, and that's just how he is in all of his writing. And he's just very upfront and he's honest, and I think that that's important to see. But after looking at quotes like this and the next one that I'm about to show you, he was asked in an interview, what do you do for work? Do you practice any law? And his response was, I've written 2 best-selling books, which makes me an author. I wrote a movie, which makes me a screenwriter. I produced that movie as well, which makes me a movie producer. I run the business around my site and brand, which makes me an entrepreneur. Take your pick as to which title you want to slap on me. What I don't do is practice law because I don't hate myself. Now, he's, like I said, he's very upfront and honest, but this also kind of limits him to a specific audience, people who are after the humor and after how he writes. But that also brings on a lot of people who read his work that just really don't like him. And I think that that's unique because not many authors have hate sites against them, and not many authors have a lot of fans that just thrive off of just negativity on him. For example, one site is called TuckerMaxIsADouchebag.com, and this people write, and there's also a blog called the same thing on Blogger. People just write every day about how he is disgusting as a person, and just negative comments all the time. And I think, once again, that just better helps to show who his audience is, and I think that it's safe to say that for the most part, it is males that are his audience. And there are females who do think that he's funny, and they do like to read his books, but for the most part, and for the majority of the part, I think that it would be college-age males just getting out of high school, and some middle-aged men just still appreciate his work. And I wanted to just show some pictures of just his type of fans and stuff that they've created, along with his Twitter account, which helps him keep in touch with his fans. Because not only does he talk in first person in his books and relates in his own little unique way, but he also tweets at his fans and keeps in touch with them through that way. And these are just some pictures. He's really into helping out troops and people in the military. He does go and give speeches a lot more to these types of groups of people. And yeah, that's pretty much sums up Tucker Max and how I think his audience is.
Okay.
Can I show like a short video clip? Like a 1.5 minute one?
Yes, I'm going to stop this.